I was listening to one of my friends give her daughter the talk, but what had me peeing in my pants was her saying a good way to sidestep virginity is having anal sex. So with that, let's make like Kobe and force our way through the back door on this Toward Intention. One of my earliest memories is of my mom pointing out a gentleman that was at a bar, and she telling me that the man had a colostomy bag attached to his belt. That was because he overextended his butthole and he can no longer control his poop. Well, Lord, that was a shitty intro, and I apologize. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Toward Intentions. I'm your host, Austin Fox. Prolapse and colostomy bags are just two results of the most severe cases of anal sex. From a medical standpoint, anal sex is still relatively safe. This can be said for both sexes, both male and female. Let's take a closer look. The anus is wall-to-wall pleasure with rich nerve endings. It's those nerve endings that give the heightened sense of sensitivity a black belt named Sloan into a bonbon eating Tammy with an I. Here's an interesting little tidbit that men will not understand. Hold steady, men. The anus is more like a vagina than one realizes. A sexual encounter that lasts approximately 5 minutes long. The anus can receive hundreds of microscopic tears that make the spread of STDs greatly possible. While no one has ever gotten pregnant from having anal sex, the majority of sexual active people have contracted gonorrhea, syphilis, herpes, and the iotola of your dirty hola, HIV/AIDS. I know, another shitty joke. What an asshole. On September 26, 2017, the Centers for Disease Control stated that STDs are on a record high. More than 2 million cases of chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis were reported in the U.S. back in 2016. Homosexual males take a lot of abuse from ignorant people claiming that it is the gays that harbor and fester these diseases and spread them. Well, the reality is this. Young heterosexual women take the prize for a surge in the most cases reported in contracting chlamydia in the previous year. Picture it. It's school picture day, and you've spent days preparing for this, getting the perfect haircut, picking out the perfect outfit, and you even get a facial the day before, only to wake up the day of and see that your picture will be immortalized with a zit at the tip of your nose. Well, take that zip and multiply it by at least 1,000. Move it from the tip of your nose to the tip of your dick, and I give you herpes. But unlike Rudolph's problem, zits are a product of puberty, whereas herpes zoster is an incurable STD that will make you praying for another puberty. Now that I've turned you off completely, let me reassure you that I've taken all the proper precautions. Anal sex can be very pleasurable, even more so than vaginal sex. But before the fun, I would like to express an observation to any sexually active teenager. In a perfect world, virginity is considered priceless and valued more than the precious metal platinum, and everybody would wait for marriage to have sex. But the world is not perfect, and reality is teenagers have either already had or getting ready to have sex. So rather than denying that fact to be true, I think children today should be armed with education so that way they can make educated decisions for themselves, because like it or not, it's going to happen. Chances are the first person you have sex with will not be in your life 10 years later, so make sure the person you choose is a person you trust. Every teenager goes through this awkward phase. Body issues are more than a concern, so make sure you're having sex because you want to, not because you think you'll feel prettier. And most of all, and most importantly, you have the right and the option to say no at any time. Sex without consent is rape. By now you're probably asking yourself, how does one prepare for anal sex? That's a very good question. Well, one solution is a colonic irrigation. Don't laugh, it's nothing to be sniffed at. While douching with Gatorade is the perfect solution for lesbians, coffee enemas have many wonderful properties. I had one just yesterday, and it put a little spring in my step. Okay, so I won't be invited back to that Starbucks, but the moral of the story is, I feel better. So unless scat is the activity you love, try using a douche with a steady stream of warm water until the water being discharged goes from brown to clear. Remember, your lower intestine is long and water will become trapped. So to ensure that all the water has been released, spread your legs shoulder width apart, squat ever so slightly, and insert 2 fingers. Side note, inserting 2 fingers is also a great way to stretch your anus and prepare yourself for that instant mistake you'll just have made. When dealing with condoms, it is important to use the proper lube. Remember, always use water-based lube with condoms and toys, and silicone with skin-on-skin action. If you choose the bareback approach, don't be cheap, use a copious amount of lube, and grease that ass. A well-lubed workspace is the difference between a rosebud and your first anal orgasm. So, to be kept up to date on this or any other show, please go to www.tortintentions.com and subscribe, or find and follow me on Twitter at tortintention. And as always, send your messages to tortintentions@gmail.com. I will leave you with this final head scratcher. What's the difference between gay sex and a freezer? A freezer never farts when you pull the meat out. Till next time, Austin Fox saying, whatever your intention, just make sure it's a tort intention. So long, everybody.